Hello everyone, myself Dhananjay Mane, working as Assistant Professor in Computer Science and Engineering Department at Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur. So today's our topic is regression analysis under the machine learning and data analysis. So we are going to start today's session. So first part we are going to see today, that is the learning objective. By end of this session, the student will be able to understand the regression analysis, applications of regression analysis, and the types of different types of regression analysis. So we are going to start the session. So first part, what is regression analysis? So regression analysis is a statistical method. It is a mathematical model that model the relationship between the dependent or target and independent or predictor variable with one or more independent variables. So we are taken the independent variable, that is the predictor, to find out the target, that is the dependent variable. So regression analysis help us to understand how the value of the dependent variable is changing corresponding to the independent variable when other independent variables are fixed. So it predicts continuous or real values such as temperature, age, salary, price, or marks, or the score of the student. So these are the some of the examples or continuous or real values. So we are going to see one example. Suppose there is a marketing company XYZ who does various advertisement every year and get sales on that. The below list shows the advertisement made by the company in the last 5 years and the corresponding sales. So it will take the last 5 years advertisement cost which is made by the company. It is an independent variable. Now the company want to do the advertisement of $200 in the current year and want to know the prediction about the sales for this year. So by using those independent variable, we can easily find out the dependent variable, that is the target that you want to sales that you want to achieve from these independent variables. So regression analysis is nothing but it is used to solve such type of prediction problem in machine learning. We need regression analysis. Regression is a part of supervised learning technique in the machine learning which help us to find the correlations between the variables and enable us to predict the continuous output variable based on one or more values. That is, we are taken the one or more independent variable, and from those independent variable we are taken the values for the dependent variable, or we can say target. It is mainly used for the prediction, forecasting, time series modeling, and determining the causal effect relationship between the variables. In regression, a graph is plotted between the variables which best fits the given data point. Using this plot, the machine learning model can make prediction about the data. So by in the regression analysis, we are plotting a graph, and from that we are making a model, machine learning model that used for the prediction about the data. In simple word, regression shows a line or curve that passes through all the data point on target predictor graph in such a way that the vertical distance between the data point and the regression line is minimum. The distance between data point and the line tells whether a model has captured a strong relationship or not. So we are taking the point distance between the data point, and from that we are making the relationship between them to plotting a graph. So some of the examples of regression can be a prediction of rain using temperature as the other factor. So rain is the target and the independent parameters are temperature and other factors. Determining the market trends, or prediction of road accident due to rash driving. So these are the some of the examples of regression analysis. So what are the different terminologies related to regression analysis? First is the dependent variable. The main factor in regression analysis which we want to predict or understand is called dependent variable. It is called target variable. For example, how well you perform a race depend on your training. So dependent variable is the race, and the independent variable, it is the training that we are doing for that dependent variable. How much you weigh depend on your diet. So dependent variable, it is a weight, and the independent variable are the precautions we are taking for the diet. How much you earn depend upon the number of hours you work. So earn, it is an dependent variable, and the independent variable, it is the number of hours you work. The next important part is the independent variable. The factors which affect dependent variable or which are used to predict the values of the dependent variable are called independent variable, or also called as predictor. So predictor will help us to predict for the dependent variable. Third one, it is the outliers. Outlier is an observation which contain either very low value or very high value in comparison to other observed values, as outlier may hamper the result. So outlier in that particular regression analysis we have to avoid. Multi-collinearity, it is the fourth one. If the dependent variable are highly correlated with each other than other variable, then such condition is called multi-collinearity. It should not be present in the data set because it creates problem while ranking the most affecting variable. That is, the independent variable should not have the correlation between the independent variable. It hamper the result, that is the target or dependent that we want to achieve at the last in the regression analysis. And the fifth one, underfitting and overfitting. If an algorithm work well with the training data set but not well with the test data set, then such a problem is called overfitting. So we have to avoid that overfitting. And if our algorithm does not perform well even with the training data set, then such problem is called underfitting. So in regression analysis we have to avoid the overfitting problem also and underfitting problem also. So these are the some terminology related to regression analysis. Now we are going to see why do we use regression analysis. Regression analysis help us in prediction of a continuous variables. There are various scenarios in the real world where we need some future predictions such as weather conditions, sales prediction, market trends, etc. For such case we need some technology which can make prediction more accurately. So we need regression analysis, which is statistical method and used in machine learning and data science. Regression estimates the relationship between the target and the independent variable. It is used to find the trends in the data. So we are finding the trends in the data and we are achieving the target by taking the independent variable, that is the predictors. Why do we use the regression analysis? It helps to predict real and continuous value. By performing the regression, we can confidently determine the most important factor, the least important factor, and how each factor is affecting the other factor. So these are we have to determine in the real or continuous value in the prediction. So we are going to see the types of regression. There are various types of regressions which are used in data science and machine learning. Each type has its own importance on different scenarios, but at the core all regression method analyze the effect of independent variable on dependent variable. So we have to take the independent variable and from that we have to predict, we have to achieve the target, that is the dependent variable. So these are the some of the types of regression. So we are going to see the first type of regression, that is the linear regression. Linear regression is a statistical regression method which is used to in predictive analysis. It is one of the very simple and easy algorithm which work on regression and shows the relationship between the continuous variables. It is used for problem solving regression problem in machine learning. Linear regression shows the linear relationship between the independent variable on the x-axis and the dependent variable on the y-axis, hence called linear regression. So we are plotting that independent variable also and dependent variable also for plotting that linear relationship regression. If there is only one input variable x, then such linear regression is called simple linear regression, and if there is more than one input variable, then such linear regression is called multiple linear regression. So there are two types of regression are there. One is the input one input variable regression, we are said it is the simple linear regression, and there is another type, that is the more than one input variable to the linear regression, it is called the multiple linear regression. The relationship between the variable in the linear regression model can be explained using the below diagram. So, we are going to see the diagram that we are plotting for the linear regression. Here we are predicting the salary of an employee on the basis of the year of experience. So, in this example, the salary, it is an dependent variable, or we can say target variable, and the experience of the employee, it is an independent variable. By using that experience independent variable, we are predicting that particular employee's salary, and we are plotting that particular graph in this example. So, you can see that it is a linear regression graph between the employee salary and the number of experience employees having. So, in linear regression, the mathematical equation for linear, it is a y equal to ax plus b, where y is the dependent variable, we can say it is the target variable, and x is the independent variable, or we can say it is the predictor variable, and a and b are the linear coefficient. So, we are going to see the examples of the linear regression. First is the analyzing trends and sales estimates, salary forecasting, or the real estate prediction. These are the some of the examples of linear regression we can use in those examples. So, this is a question for you. Which of the following best describe regression in business intelligence? So, you have to think on that and you have to write your answer. So, the correct answer will be answer B, that is a statistical method of identifying relationship between variables. So, these are the some of the references for our today's video lecture. Thank you.